Hello, everyone. Hope you are well on this Sunday morning. I believe it's still morning. It is December the 8th. I stayed up too late last night watching college football. Go Dogs. Go Dogs. Got the teddy man. I got the wild man. I was able to corral him a while ago, and I gave him up here for like half a minute or so, huh? What do you think? Hey, man. What's up, wild man? He's got a cute little innocent looking face there, doesn't he? Looking outside, aren't you? Hey, how we doing? You're a wild man. Teddy has a birthday coming up. He's got a birthday coming up at the end of this coming week. He's going to be 8 years old. He's going to be 8 years old, dude. You run around like you're 3, don't you? Yeah, all right. You got kind of a hairdo going on there. You got a little thing going on there, don't you? He's like, Dad, don't mess with my hair, man. Don't mess with my hair. All right. What's Ella doing? You gonna go see what Ella's doing? All right. You're a wild man. All right, dude. All right. I'll put it down. There we go. Okay. Okay. The rundown is as follows. All right. As a reminder, tonight I'm going to be part of a live. It's going to start at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's on Prepper Now's channel. I don't do a lot of lives, if you noticed. I don't think doing lives or going live is a strong suit of mine. Now, I don't do them often. However, I do like Prepper Now's channel a lot. We go back to before I started the channel, I watched his channel. And we communicate a good bit. So he has a great channel. Has a lot of good information, very knowledgeable, very smart. So I definitely want to be part of his live. So he reached out to me. I said, sure. So we will do that this evening. I'll be part of a round table. I think there's going to be 5 of us. So some other good channels on there too. So also Damascus has fallen. Last night it went from looks like it's going to fall to it's fallen. Syria has fallen. All right. This is a watershed type moment, y'all. All right. So I think that's very big. Are we seeing prophecy play out? Go into that for a minute. Also, looking ahead to 2025, global instability, I think is going to be, that's just the way I look at it right now. I'll go into that for a bit. Also, drones / UFOs in Dogland. There are reports of them out here as well. I'll go into that. Also, we need to keep in prayer. Big time. And I'm going to share a passage towards the end of the video as well. So that's the rundown. Okay. All right, folks. So first thing, before I go into the Middle East, and that is a big one, I tell you. I noticed some other news items real quick. The suspect in the CEO takedown murder is still at large. The one that happened, the CEO of United Healthcare was taken down in a hit job, looked like one. I think that was Friday morning, Thursday morning? Can't remember now. A few days ago. It's been at least 3, almost 4 days now. He is still at large, which I think is very interesting. I have to believe that they probably know the identity of this guy. They're just trying to find him. That's my thought. But it's interesting that he's still out there. Drones reported in the county I live in. Now, I live about, 20 minutes, 30 minutes out of Athens, Georgia, in a semi-rural county. We are an outer, I would call it realistically, it's not a suburb of Atlanta, but it's an outer band out of Metro Atlanta. Metro Atlanta is definitely starting to touch us. Not just starting to, it has. So, a growing, extremely fast growing area. Much of North Georgia is, though. But I noticed on a Well, somebody shared with me actually a neighborhood site that is close, not in my neighborhood, but a neighborhood that is not far from mine, maybe 7, 8 miles or so from us, is reporting a lot of drone activity, 30 to 40 per night. And they say this has been going on for quite a while, not just the last week or two. So I think that's very interesting. Now, being the curious fellow that I am, I went outside late last night. It was, I don't know, 10, 11 or so. I think, yeah, 10, 10:30, 11. I did go outside. I walked around a little bit around our house here and looked up in the sky for a while. I did see a aircraft. I noticed one aircraft just in the short time I was out there flying south to north, heading north from here. And it did look a lot like a lot of the footage that I've seen as far as the lights are concerned, the size of the aircraft. It was flying fairly low, and it was flashing red, white, and maybe blue. It's hard to tell. Lights. But I believe what I saw was an airplane. I believe. It wasn't real loud. I mean, it had a little bit of a sound to it. But it was flying straight line. It's not like it was hovering like a helicopter or going in circles or anything like that. It was just going in a straight line, pretty slow. So I believe what I saw was an airplane, but there are reports of similar aircraft UFO activity similar to what we are hearing out of the Northeast, New Jersey area. And then I've seen reports of the same thing or similar in other parts of the country as well. So I think that's interesting. We'll keep an eye on that. And if I can, next time I'll take my phone and record it and see, because last night it was just kind of a spur of the moment thing. I just walked out there for a few minutes just to see what was going on. And next time I'll try to spend a little more time and take my phone and record anything I see. All right. So I think that's very interesting. As far as the UPA thing, the UPA UFO, the drone, I'm not so sure they're just drones. We don't know what they are, but we need to be told. I have to believe that authorities, the military, whatever you have it knows what this is. And for whatever reason, they're not telling the public. And I think we need to know. I really do. I think it's bad. I think it's so bad that it's just kept in the dark. I think we need to know. I don't understand. Keep our eyes on the Middle East, y'all. The Middle East, Israel, Syria. This is biblical, I believe. Damascus has fallen. Syria is a mess. Syria has fallen, basically. Now, been kind of following this the last, few days more than I had in the past, but this has been a long civil war. I mean, it's gone years, 13, 14 years at least. And this Assad character has been in power for quite a while, and the family has been in power. And that has ended. There were rebel opposition groups moving in for quite some time, but just in the last few days, last week, they made a lot of progress, taking city after city. These rebel groups from the north and from the south of the city of Damascus that's been opposing the Assad regime, they've been making progress. And it came to a head yesterday and early today. And this has huge implications, I believe, even for Israel. They're fighting basically a 7-front war right now. The interesting thing is, I think a lot of people were expecting Iran and Russia to come to the rescue again for Assad, for Syria, keep him in power, but they backed off. And, it's without their help. These groups came in and surrounded Damascus. And from everything we're seeing, as far as reports and lives and all that kind of stuff, Damascus that government of Assad is gone. Now, Assad himself, the president, it is said that he fled the city. No information on his whereabouts right now. It looks like he definitely fled. I did see reports that maybe his airplane crashed. It disappeared from radar. So now he might have landed somewhere and they're trying to keep that secret, of course. Now, that's possible as well. But these rebel groups have come in, and it sounds like a group, just several groups banded together to take that to go right in. Also, Turkey is involved in this, which I think is very interesting. Turkey is involved. Like I said before, Iran and Russia backed off. Now they have troubles of their own. Russia is very occupied in its conflict with Ukraine, of course. And Iran has been weakened a good bit by its war with Israel. So that's very interesting as well. So something to watch, really. Now, a lot of people, are celebrating, the end of Assad regime. I mean, this has been like a, 13, 14-year-old civil war, and not a good guy, Assad. However, a lot of people are also saying with that power vacuum now in place, what is coming in there to replace it? Who's the strong man that's going to come in and really take charge of, what's going to happen in Damascus now. That government's fallen, Syrian government's fallen, it's gone. And who's going to take charge? What's that going to look like? What does that mean for the people there? There are Christians there, a good many Christians around the area as well. Kurds, Yazidis, I believe, and just a lot of different folks. So what does that mean for them? Let's be in prayer for them. Let's watch this. Let's keep praying for the peace of Jerusalem as well. But a lot of people are fearing that with this power vacuum, it could bring in allow a terrorist much worse than what was there before to take hold there in that area in Syria. So that's very possible too, as well. Trump, from what I've seen, reports is that Trump has weighed in and said we need to stay out of it. The United States needs to stay out of this. Now, I agree. To some measure, I'm sure the United States is involved in this stuff. We always are. But I agree with him that we need to just stay out of something for a change. We got enough issues here. We're into enough stuff, but I hope we keep our nose out of this stuff. I'm sure we have military around that area, and if we're watching it, okay, but don't put our nose into this. That's, at least if I were in charge, I'd be like, no, you can watch it, surveillance, whatever have you with what, but no, get our people out of there, get our military out of there. We have no business. Let's get out of there. That's my thoughts on that. But it's interesting that Turkey has moved in and is behind a lot of this march to Damascus. It looks like they were heavily involved in this. So what will happen there? I mean, Turkey is a so-called ally of Russia too, but they're also part of NATO, I believe. So that's very interesting. They play both sides well, don't they? Are we living Bible prophecy out? It's very possible. I'll go into that a little more here in a little bit, but yeah, it's very interesting. It's just a very interesting right at the end of the year here. I think 2025 is going to be very interesting, to say the least. To give a prediction of 2025, I don't know. I think it's even more difficult than predicting 2024, personally. But the first thing that comes to my mind when I think of even between now and January and then in 2025 is global instability. I mean, look at it. Just about every corner, there is instability. And I believe that what we could be seeing, could it be biblical? Yes. I also believe that what we're seeing is a struggle, perhaps of the traditional power, the city state, the state, the nation state, to keep in power against versus the individual, the individual groups, special interests, if you will, for lack of a better term. So it's very interesting. I mean, you look at the Middle East, Europe, World War III, which I believe we're pretty much into. Global instability, and we just have to see how it plays out. I believe right here in the United States, North America, especially in the United States, going into the new year, a lot of uncertainties. I know we have the new president coming in, Trump returning again, which I'm very optimistic about. However, I have concerns too, because of just the last 4 years of what's going on. I'll go into that more in subsequent videos. But I think we need to be in prayer. Let's always be ready. Spiritual prep, number one. There again, be ready, of course. So let's keep praying. I'm going to go to a passage. Of course, we're going to go to Isaiah. Isaiah, first part of chapter 17. An oracle against Damascus. It's a very old city, that area. An oracle concerning Damascus. See, Damascus will no longer be a city, but will become a heap of ruins. The cities of error will be deserted and left to flocks, which will lie down with no one to make them afraid. The fortified city will disappear from Ephraim, and royal power from Damascus. The remnant of Aram will be like the glory of the Israelites, declares the Lord Almighty. Amen. So I think it's interesting to see what happens here. Now, this says that it will be a heap of ruins. It will no longer be a city. That's why I think, global instability is what we're seeing and what we will see here going forward for now. And like I say, we are keeping our eyes on Israel, the Middle East in general, but then also, right where we live here, and to keep preparing and just to keep our preps up and keep aware, keep alert. All right. Well, share your thoughts on these things. Be safe out there. Stay close to Jesus. God bless y'all. I'll see you soon.